Hey guys, and welcome to Captain Charlemagne's Models. I'm your Captain Charlemagne, so let's head over to the bench and see what we're doing for today's project.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the bench. So today we're going to be officially launching our build of the Strasbourg. So, what's been done with Strasbourg? Well, as you can see, compared to when she popped up onto the table the last time, we've actually painted up the hull. So the hull, as you can see here, has been painted. The upper hull was painted using the Tamiya AS26 Light Ghost Gray and the TS20 Metallic Greens. So these are the two colors that were used to do that. We've also went ahead and painted the prop shafts and the propellers and the ship's rudder. So funny thing with the rudder is it wouldn't fit. That little piece that normally goes into the hole right here on the bottom, right here where, if my pencil is showing it right, that it can't fit on there. So what I had to do was cut that little piece off. Another thing that was done, let me pick it on up here, was we went ahead and we've attached one of the ship's wood decks pieces onto here. As you can see, nice and flat. It has that adhesive kind of material to the back. However, so far I've seen that it's not exactly wanting to stick down. So if you have something that you can use to probably give it a little bit more sticking power, I would suggest that. The front here was painted using Rust-Oleum, but so that's pretty much what's being done with the model. So what we're going to do today is we are going to attach the rudder, the shafts, and we are going to attach some of the ship's other wood decks. So what do you guys say we go ahead and we get started? So after a few moments, I had to go off the thing. I had to go answer the door. Food came in. Anyway, let's start by adding on our propellers. So something I thought I'd answer in this video because I've gotten some questions on it. One of the models I have building at the moment is the AMT 1 and 5/37 scale refit dreadnought. So this is taking the Enterprise refit kit and converting it into a dreadnought. And some questions I've got on it is if I am continuing that kit. And I will come right out and say, yes, I do have plans to continue that kit. The issue at the moment I'm having with that kit is doing the ship's third nacelle pylon. So where my issue with the pylon is situated at is that with the pylon, on some images of the ship, it shows it coming from the top of the saucer and part of the neck and rounding up and thus being able to do all that. Where my issue coming from that is making that pylon. Like I said just now, you have the, of course, part but I've also seen it to where some people have done artwork and stuff for it where it looks like it only has it mounted to the top, which you would think, oh, why not go that route? And well, that route was in fact the route I tried going. The issue was that third pylon. The part I was using to make the pylon got busted. So at the moment, what's happening is I'm having to try and learn how to fashion one because I kind of don't have the immediate funds to go and buy a whole nother kit to try and steal a part of its pylon from the box. Plus that'd kind of be a waste of a whole model, only getting it so you can add on a pylon to another. So I'm trying to fashion that. And it's not easy because I don't have a massive amount of experience with scratch building. Okay, get some glue right here too. That way it'll stick while it's sitting there. All right. So get this in there like so. And there we go. That piece is on. These are not all the way on, so they're not. Okay, I need to fix the legs of this. It's come off over time. So hopefully by doing that, it'll stick. All right. With those being added, I'm going to go off real quick. And then when we come back, we'll be working on the decks. So be back with you all here right in a few minutes. Okay, and we are now back. So the first part of the ship's wood deck that we're going to be working on today is we are going to be working here on the rear of the ship. So get this out, and I also am going to need some pliers. And not pliers, my box cutter. Hobby knife. Ugh, not my day. So the reason why we need it is because we gotta take each of these corners and we gotta cut out this piece from it. And yes, before anybody asks, this is indeed the back side. This is more so I can actually see where these little parts are here at the corners, so that I can separate them. Okay. Let's see now. Seems I did not separate one of these. So okay, it was two. Almost had them all. Okay, so separate those two off like so. Next, we're going to bring the deck over, and what we're going to do first is simply a dry fit test. See where this piece and how it looks when it's dry fitted on. Like so. Because it's always good to go and do this test. so I know how that sits. Interesting enough, it looks, by looking at it, as if there is a small sliver of wood deck right here where my pencil is. Yet there was no piece on, as you can see here, there's no piece that goes there. So it makes me curious and wonder if perhaps I might have threw that out as I was taking the stuff out, or if it was made like that. But either way. Alright. Next step, set that there, is to try and get this off, this piece. Because, of course, like most things that require you to take the stuff off, they make it to where it's a pain in the butt to even try and grab the stuff. Like seriously, this stuff's so tightly on that you can't exactly grab a spot from it. And I do not have nails. So that does not benefit me in the long run. But as the saying goes, if you're stubborn enough, you can eventually get what you want off. Okay. So, as you can see, it's not completely even here. Trying to get here. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so that's why. As you can see, the one side is not fully even with the other, so give me a few moments here. And that's another important thing to note when dealing with wood decks is trying to get as close as you easily can to getting it even. All right. There we go. Okay. And also the reason why I chose to take the wood deck and add it before adding it onto the ship. I know when some people have done it in the past, what they've went and done is they've attached the deck, then attached this. But this is, I actually wanted to try something different compared to what I would normally do. Normally I follow that same route. All right. And now what we are going to do is we are going to add both this one, this wood deck piece, not wood deck piece, the front, forward half of the hull and the rear of the hull, and we're gonna put those on. So give me a couple minutes here, get the camera angle back to the previous one, and I'll be right back with you all here in just a moment. All right, and we are back. So what we are going to do, like I said, is we're going to add on these two deck parts. So get our old faster tube glue out, get our deck, and we're just going to carefully start adding glue here to the side and bottom corner of the deck. So what's the next step? So the next step after this today is we will be moving back to the over to the NX. I have been thinking, glue on my hand there, of how to proceed with that build and what we can do that makes her different. So what we will be doing is we will be, and it'll be discussed in more detail when we get to that build, on its build itself, making some parts. The next step that will follow for Strasbourg, since that's probably what's going to interest most people who are watching this video, is once these two parts are on, we're going to see what else has to be added on. And then, because I do know there's by how I've seen the images, there's a piece that goes, where are we? Okay. There's a piece that goes on top here that makes up where the decks sit. Okay, this is not even. There we go. And just like so, get it in. Double check both sides. This side's not in, like it should. And this side's been forced down. All right. That's on. Next, we're going to do the rear. So, I'm gonna flip this around real quick. Oop, don't wanna lose that over there. That's my instructions for the NX. So, same steps as we did before. Add some glue here to the sides of this. Like so. Hands sticking onto it. All right. go. Those decks are now on. So, going to get the Strasbourg's instruction book here. Give me a couple moments here. Alrighty then. And we will need two parts for here. Those are both parts A3 and A4. However, as you can possibly see, neither the sprue which these parts are on hasn't been painted yet, so we're not going to be able to add those directly in this video. So that's in fact going to be the first steps we do in the next episode. What we will be doing with these parts though is we're going to actually prep them. What do I mean by prep them? Well, we're testing their fits. Most likely to just be testing their fits. And either might be a case of these parts not. So this part goes outwards like it is. These holes here are probably gonna have to get slightly widened, cut wider, because the piece does not fit for the test fitting. Either that or I am putting these on the wrong spots. But according to the thing, it is not. So that's something I'm definitely going to be looking into over the course of the next couple of days. I need to raise that piece back up. So what we will be doing, so this piece here is A4. Let's see. So we will be marking these. So this one's A4. Where's my other one? And this one's A3. So we'll mark them, and then what we're going to do real quick is we're going to take our handy dandy little hand drill, and we're going to quickly cut out these windows. This gives the model some extra depth. Alright, and I'm through there. Yeah, one window down. Another good thing about the PE kit is we will be able to possibly get rid of some of these doors and some of what looks almost like fake ladders. Okay. Here. 3. Four. It actually is amazing just how thick some of this plastic is, because you would think, just looking at this thing, this ain't extremely thick, and yet it takes a good few turns from the little hand drill just to go through it. Alright, next up is the other one. Just get these drilled out real quick. Yeah, and you probably can all see this. This deck is not super balanced. Probably gonna have to add a little bit more glue on the opposite side. And for it to be held down. But tis the work of a model builder to fix any kind of imperfections, ones that are in the kit or ones we ourselves make by accident. All right, and that one's through. And that one is through. All right. And with that, that's going to conclude today's episode of our building of the 1 in 350 Hobby Boss Strasbourg. So, in the next episode, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be adding on, well, of course, these pieces. We're going to be adding on the second deck level. And we'll be building her main gun. So I'd like to thank you all for joining me here today. I hope you all have a nice day. I hope you have a nice week. If you wish to stay up to date with the building of the Strasbourg or any other kit, please do hit that bell icon to be notified of any future updates. Subscribe if you wish. I hope you all have a nice day, a nice week, and I shall see you all again here very soon. This has been Captain Charlemagne, and I'm signing off. Ta-ta for now, everyone.